two global superstars, two completely different philosophies of hip-hop, and one of the most explosive rap feuds of the streaming era. This wasn't just another rap battle. It wasn't just competitive bars exchanged for sport. What unfolded between Drake and Kendrick Lamar in 2024 was a cultural event, one that blurred the lines between music, personal attacks, fan warfare, and even the courtroom. Tonight, we break down the full story, the early respect, the subtle tension, the lyrical explosions, the accusations, the records that shattered streaming numbers, and the lawsuit that followed. This is the complete, detailed timeline of Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. To understand how he got here, we have to go back more than a decade. In 2011, Drake was already a dominant force. After Thank Me Later and Take Care, he wasn't just a rapper, he was a global brand. Emotional vulnerability, melodic hooks, crossover appeal. He had redefined mainstream rap success. Kendrick Lamar, meanwhile, was emerging from Compton with a very different identity. When Good Kid, Mad City dropped in 2012, critics immediately recognized him as a generational lyricist. His storytelling was cinematic. His technical ability was surgical. His themes were rooted in morality, community, and self-examination. Drake brought Kendrick on the Club Paradise tour in 2012. At the time, it looked like mentorship and mutual respect. They collaborated. They praised each other in interviews. Publicly, there was no feud. But in August 2013, the tone shifted dramatically. On Big Sean's track Control, Kendrick delivered what would become one of the most talked about verses of the decade. He called out nearly every major rapper in the game: J. Cole, Meek Mill, A$AP Rocky, Drake, and more, declaring that he wanted to murder them competitively on tracks. The verse wasn't an insult. It was a challenge. But perception matters. Drake later told Billboard that he felt Kendrick's energy wasn't entirely friendly. While he respected competition, he suggested the approach felt different behind the scenes. From that point forward, the friendship cooled. Over the next several years, fans dissected lyrics for subliminal shots. Kendrick rapped about sensitive rappers. Drake referenced unnamed critics who doubted him. Nothing explicit, but tension lingered. By 2017, Kendrick released Damn, winning a Pulitzer Prize, the first non-classical or jazz artist to do so. Drake continued dominating charts with Views, Scorpion, and record-breaking streaming numbers. They occupied different lanes, but both stood at the top of the genre. Then came October 2023. On First Person Shooter, Drake referred to himself, Kendrick, and J. Cole as the Big Three of rap. It sounded celebratory, but to some listeners, it subtly positioned Drake at the center of the hierarchy. Months later, Kendrick responded. On March 22, 2024, Future and Metro Boomin released We Don't Trust You. Kendrick appeared on the track like that. In one of the most replayed verses of the year, he rejected the entire concept of the Big Three. His message was direct. There is no trio. There is no shared throne. It's just him. Social media exploded within hours. Verified artists reacted. Analysts called it the first clear shot. This wasn't subliminal anymore. Drake responded in April 2024 with Push-Ups. The diss mocked Kendrick's height, questioned his commercial success compared to Drake's chart dominance, and framed Kendrick as a niche figure benefiting from industry favoritism. Shortly after, Drake escalated further with tailor-made freestyle, controversially using AI-generated vocals that imitated Tupac Shakur and Snoop Dogg. The decision sparked immediate backlash. Tupac's estate publicly objected, and the track was later removed from platforms. The feud had now crossed into ethically gray territory. Kendrick took his time. Then, on April 30th, 2024, he released Euphoria. The 6-minute diss was layered and methodical. Kendrick accused Drake of identity confusion, questioned his authenticity, and dissected his public persona. The tone wasn't playful. It was prosecutorial. But Kendrick didn't stop. On May 3rd, Drake released Family Matters. In it, he made serious accusations regarding Kendrick's personal life and relationships. The record was aggressive and direct. What happened next stunned the industry. Within hours, Kendrick dropped Meet the Grahams, framed as letters addressed to members of Drake's family. The track intensified allegations and delivered some of the most chilling lines of the feud. And then came the moment that shifted everything. Kendrick performed it repeatedly at his pop-out concert in Los Angeles, where the crowd rapped every word back to him. The song transcended diss culture. It became a movement. Drake responded with The Heart Part 6, denying allegations made against him and attempting to reframe the narrative. He argued that some claims were fabricated and suggested he had baited Kendrick with misinformation. But public momentum had shifted. Streaming numbers surged for both artists, but culturally, many critics argued Kendrick had delivered the more impactful body of work. Publications praised the strategic sequencing of his releases. Commentators described the feud as the most significant rap battle since the early 2000s. Then the conflict took an unexpected turn. Drake filed a defamation lawsuit connected to allegations amplified during the feud, particularly surrounding Not Like Us. Major outlets, including Time and Billboard, reported on the case. A federal judge ultimately dismissed it, describing the lyrics as artistic expression rather than factual assertions. The courtroom chapter closed. The cultural debate intensified. Fans debated endlessly online. Polls circulated asking who won. Industry figures weighed in carefully. Some praised the competitive spirit of hip-hop. Others expressed concern about how personal the battle became. What made this feud different wasn't just the diss tracks. It was timing. In the streaming era, songs don't just drop. They trend globally within minutes. Reaction videos, think pieces, breakdowns, and memes amplify everything. Each release felt like a live event. This wasn't just two artists trading bars. It was two brands protecting legacy. Drake represents commercial dominance. Over a decade of chart-topping albums, global tours, and streaming records, he blurred rap and pop and became one of the most streamed artists in history. Kendrick represents lyrical craftsmanship and cultural commentary. Pulitzer Prize-winning artistry, albums structured like films, a reputation for precision and patience. When those two identities collide, it's bigger than ego. It becomes ideological. As of now, neither artist has formally declared the feud over. Both continue to release music. Both remain commercially powerful. But the events of 2024 permanently altered their narratives. For Kendrick, Not Like Us solidified his image as a strategic assassin, calculated, patient, devastating when he strikes. For Drake, the feud tested his resilience. He absorbed some of the harshest public criticism of his career, yet maintained streaming dominance and fan loyalty. In hip-hop history, rivalries have shaped eras. Nas versus Jay-Z, Tupac versus Biggie. Those battles define generations. Drake versus Kendrick Lamar now belongs in that conversation. Because this wasn't just about winning. It was about control of the culture. And in the streaming age, culture moves faster than ever. Years from now, when analysts look back at hip-hop in the 2020s, 2024 will stand out. Not just for the music, but for how two titans forced the industry to choose sides. Whether you believe Drake held his ground, or Kendrick delivered the decisive blow, one thing is certain. This was more than entertainment. It was a moment. And moments like this don't fade. They become history.